drumming. We're finally on our own. Somewhere I hear the drumming. We're dead in Ohio. Gotta get down to it. Soldiers are gunning us down. We've been gone long ago. You hurrying down to get on the ground. Welcome back to the Grateful Rose River Homestead. I'm your host, Papa Bear. How you all doing? Wow. Today is May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Also, May 4th is a very special day. As you just heard, I was playing the famous song, Ohio, by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Today, it is a special day. Not because of the 4th day, but it is a May Day. Every May 4th, I celebrate and give tribute to the Kent State massacre. It wasn't a shooting, it was a massacre. It was a time in our country that there was two sides, the hawks and the doves. It was a time in our country that people woke up and voiced their opinion. The students at Kent State and other people who joined in the protests, it was a time when Nixon had promised us that we were bringing our troops home. But then he turned around and lied to us. No surprise, right? The government lying to us. He basically said that I'm bringing the troops home, but the next breath he sent troops into Cambodia. 158,000 young men and women paid the ultimate price. My father was a Vietnam vet. So there's two sides of me. I sort of have the hawk in me, and I also have the dove in me. Meaning that I support our troops, but I also support the freedom of speech. And that's why 4 students were murdered and 9 were wounded. It was because of the freedom of speech. There was no reason to have their guns loaded. I mean, some have said that there was rocks thrown. Maybe there was. But does that mean that we are to open fire on innocent civilians? The governor should have been held accountable. The commander who was in charge of this battalion should have been charged for murdering 4 students and wounding 9. But that's enough said about that. So, to the 4 students that were killed here in Ohio, God bless you, and we will always honor you. Well, this week has been a whirlwind of wind. And no, I'm just kidding. But it has been raining nonstop. Right now, it looks cloudy. They're saying today we might have no rain. We'll see. Because it's been raining nonstop. I mean, I've been doing a little bit of projects in the house, outside the house. I did I repaired made a door for the rabbit cages yesterday, and I've just been doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, whatever I can do outside, even if it is raining. Time doesn't stop. So it's been raining nonstop, and it doesn't look like we're in for next week is going to be raining too. Paisley girl is on my heels about getting the garden tilled. I'm sorry, but you just can't till when the ground is so saturated, because the tiller would just be. It would just be a mess. It'd be the Woodstock all over with it. It'd be mud and rain, because that's what it'd be. Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know when we're gonna get a dry spell here, because the ground is. I just walked out there. The river's up again. And there doesn't look like any time in soon. I mean, I looked at next week's forecast, and it's like every single day, rain, 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 rain. I'm like, oh my gosh, when am I going to be able to get outside and really do the tilling? Because it's just been raining. All right, so today I thought I would cover a topic that a lot of homesteaders, or maybe I haven't just never seen it, but something that I think is a very important topic, and that is apparel. As you can see here in front of this table here, I have all kinds of stuff here, so we're going to go through this as quick as possible. Now, a lot of this stuff here on this table was already bought before we had the homestead. Okay, so let's say you're thinking about going out and buying a piece of land and you want to do homestead, which is awesome. I praise you. I think more people need to do it because you cannot depend on the system. You need to grow your own food. You need to have the freedom of your own land to do the things that you want to do in life, raising chickens, raising rabbits, whatever animals you bring on your homestead. So you made the decision, and now you've bought this piece of land, and you got maybe a house already on it, or maybe you still got to purchase a house to put on it, or you're building a house, whatever the case is. So the next thing is something that I really didn't think about, but like I said, everything on this table here has already been bought before we had this place. I never thought that I'd be using it for the life on a homestead, but it has really come in handy. Like I said, the only thing that I bought new was this past winter. I bought me some nice leather hide insulated gloves. I used them yesterday. Great pair of gloves. It wasn't cold yesterday, but it was wet, and these repel water. Of course, I treat all my clothing with repellent, water repellent of some sort. So that's one thing to take in mind whenever you buy something new. Even though it says it's waterproof, do your own treatment on it, and do it, occasionally after you bought it a couple times, you've worn them, whatever it might be, boots, shoes, whatever. Treat them with water repellent. It's very important because, like I said here on the homestead, rain does not stop, okay? And that means work cannot stop outside. So you need to be prepared. So I thought that'd be an interesting video to do, is show you some of the stuff that I use and why I use it. Like I said, everything on this table was bought before because maybe you're not buying a homestead. Maybe you're going to get into buying some stuff because you're afraid of what's coming down the pipeline. And there is stuff coming down the pipeline, people. So it's time to be prepared, and what you can't depend on the system to take care of you and clothe you and keep you dry and keep you warm if you're living in the northern states like we do. If you're down in the south, some of this stuff won't attain to you. Of course, I know some people when I have some relatives who live out of the state. They live on the west coast, or they live down in Florida. They come up here and, they're wearing, winter jackets in the middle of summer. Maybe not that extreme, but you get my point. So be prepared, and this is why I thought I'd do a video real quick. Okay? It is 6 o'clock in the morning, so I'm trying not to wake up Paisley Girl and Carmen, but I'm going to cover some things. First thing that I think, even if you're just getting into being prepared, one thing that I would recommend is this, Bushcraft 101. This is a field guide to the arts of wilderness survival. There's a lot of resource in this, even for a homesteader. This is a very important book. Say you're new to the whole outdoor living and you're going to be outside a lot, and very handy tool in your toolbox, okay, is this book right here. I don't have it right here because I have it in our, we have a shelter, and I put that down there, and I forgot to get it, as a first aid manual. There's all kinds of manuals out there just like this one. There's many manuals. You don't have to take my word for it. I will try to post a link to some of this stuff. Not everything will be from, have a link to it. So I will try to get to putting links down below for everything that you see here. Like I said, some things won't be in the list, but you can take it from there. So yes, this and a first aid manual is a very important thing. Maybe you've never took a first aid training. Maybe you've never been in Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. I don't know exactly what the Girl Scouts do in their training, but I know in Boy Scouts, one of the things that I learned, even as a wee Cub Scout, is First Aid 101. Um, but if you don't know it, there's manuals out there, and I would recommend you getting yourself an emergency plan in place and get you a first aid manual and something like this, because this could come very handy. Because you're not going to have Google if the power's out for good. So, hard copies of things. I do have a manual that I have on my phone that is offline. It's already downloaded, and it's a manual. It's a really great manual. I have only been reading so many chapters of it that can be used. Okay, we'll start over here and work our way this way. First thing is the most important thing, and that's the rain gear. Bought this years ago. I cannot tell you. I think it was Walmart. It might have been Walmart. A lot of the things on this table I did buy at Walmart, but I cannot remember where I bought this at. This thing has been handy this week, and the last couple weeks, whenever it rains, I wear this. This is made by Coleman. I'll make sure I'm correct about that. Yeah, Coleman. Ponchos are great if that's the only thing you can buy. This was not expensive. I think we paid, back in the day, it was like 20 bucks for this, and it came in a pouch. It was really great. We bought these for when we went camping. And gosh, we're coming up on our 16th anniversary. May 8th is our anniversary, so we bought this way back then. So that shows you how long this has been, and it still zips. It's. I'm not saying it's not tear resistant, but I have not had any issues with this, and it keeps me dry. Ponchos have its place, but when you're outside working and it's downpouring, okay, and it's, you might have to go out and get the goats or whatever. You might have to go feed the chickens. When it's downpouring, rain runs off your slicker, okay? So some ponchos, yes, they cover maybe your knee level, but you're still going to get your pants wet, okay, with a poncho. Where a two-piece set like this, you are guaranteed to be dry. I have not had an issue being wet inside this when I'm working outside the last couple of days. I've really put both of these in use. Alright, so next thing, before we get into that, we'll go through hats, okay? You've seen in many videos, I wear a lot of hats. This is one I treated. This I bought at True Spec. This is what they call a contract hat, a contractor's hat. Of course, I treated everything. I did not treat this. This was already, it's a rain jacket. I shouldn't need treated. And I might have treated this. I'm not 100% sure. But like I said, I haven't had any problems with getting wet. But anything like this, I treated it with water repellent spray. I've done that several times over the years. So a good rain hat is also or even this is a great sun hat. You can wear this in the sun if you needed to. It has multiple purposes, like for surviving. You could actually put water in this, and it can be a filter because it's very thin. You really can't see it on camera, but you can see the light coming through there, and so it can filter water if it needs to be. Next thing I have, and I bought this, this for our granddaughter just turned 10, and she was a baby, so almost 11 years ago. Yeah, I think it was about 11 years ago, because I bought it when we were going to go to the zoo, and I said, man, I need to get me a good sun hat. This is air ventilation all over it. I love it. It keeps, when I'm mowing and stuff, where I'm working outside, I wear this if I'm mowing. Majority of the time when I'm not mowing and I'm just working outside, this hat here is made by Condor. It's a military spec kind of hat. Where you can put patches on it. As you can see, it's pretty worn and torn. But this is my go hat when I'm outside working, weed whacking or splitting logs and chainsawing, whatever. This is pretty much this hat. Or I wear a bandana a lot of times too in the summertime when it gets really hot. All right, so let's move over here to a winter hat. Get yourself a nice winter hat, okay, people. Something that's going to keep you warm. This is really nice. It's heavy. It's got the, it's a trapper's hat. You can put the flaps up if you want to. I've done that several times when it gets kind of warm outside. Um, I bought this way before I bought this one, but I wanted something more low profile, something maybe a skull hat. This one here I love because it fits really well around my head. Again, um, this hat and these two hats I bought at Walmart. So this is a nice insulated hat. Keeps you nice and warm. I do like this more in the fall time. When it gets down to the low 30s here in Ohio, this is when I really strap this bad boy on because it will keep my head warm. Another thing to think about when you're preparing for winter, especially if you're in the northern states, you need to make sure that you are covered from head to toe in insulation. Um, Way back when I was in Scouts, the rule of thumb was layer up. You can always take layers off. If you're not properly layered and it's cold outside, you could get frostbite. You're going to be cold. You're going to get miserable. It's not comfortable to work outside when you're in the cold temperatures. So it's really great to wear the proper gear. Now, Paisley girl, she's totally the opposite. She'll go out and throw a hoodie on and go outside, and she'll go to feed the rabbits or whatever, and she'll be like, man, it's really, really cold outside. But she's the first one to make fun of me because I dress up. And she's like, where are you going? Are you going to Russia? Yeah, I'm dressing because I'm going outside to work. This is called Fish Monkey. There's many out there on the market. This one I really love. And the reason I love this one the most, because I've tried on several, I bought several of these before, didn't like the way they fit. This one really is snug. I can wear this with any of these winter hats. Like I said, I think you've probably seen this in the last couple of videos in the wintertime when we were first breaking ground. So you can layer this up with any of these hats and it fits really comfortable. The nice thing is right here, a lot of times I don't like things covering my mouth. I can actually take this and put it underneath my chin. And so this way this is all uncovered. But if I start getting cold, I can put it up. And now my face, only thing that's going to be just around my eyes is going to be open. Alright, so since we're into the winter gear, thermal. This is a base layer I would recommend anyone having as a good base layer, something like this, okay? And then you can wear whatever your choice of clothing is after that. Majority of the times I'm wearing sweats. I love sweats. I like to be comfortable. I've never been a jean type guy, okay? I just cannot work in jeans. I like to be free, okay? I just don't like wearing jeans. It's just not one of my my forte. Now, if I'm going out to eat or something, for like, a short period, if I'm going to work, I'm going to work comfortable. That's the key here is think about comfortable. What are you comfortable in wearing? Okay, some people are comfortable just wearing a pair of jeans outside, and working in the hot weather. That's just not me. I'm a short person, shorts person, and then once it gets to a point here in Ohio, Ohio has a very high humidity area, so if it's say 89 degrees or 90 degrees and we have almost a 95% chance of humidity, that is hot, okay? It's miserable, so the shirt's coming off. I know some of you will say, aren't you worried about sun cancer, Papa Bear? It's everyone's take. I'm not gonna go into a whole thing about cancer and skin cancer and all that. I do wear sunscreen sometimes, but for the most part, I'm not too worried about that at the point because like I said, I'm outside working. I want to be comfortable and wearing a shirt or a tank top, and it's like I said, 89 degrees and 95% chance of humidity. it's miserable. Okay, it's just high weather can be really, it can be really nice, sunny, nice temperatures, and then there's the extreme where it gets really hot and humidity, or it can get very cold. Like this year, we had a very, very, very mild winter. I mean, it's been a very mild winter. Now, we kicked off in December, or actually, it was around Christmas. It was around Christmas when we got that minus degree. I mean, it was a straight up bitter, bitter coldness. And that's when I really layered up in clothing, and that's when I went out and bought me a pair of these because I realized I don't have a really good pair of insulated work gloves in the wintertime. And these, oh, Walmart, another Walmart buy. These are made by, I had the name yesterday. Give me 1 second here. I saw it somewhere here. Hydro Hide. Hydro Hide. These are Walmart fine, and I love them. Dexterity in them. I can really move around in them. I can pick up finer things like nails, screws, and don't have to worry about taking these off. If I would have taken them off, since we're right there, but you do that. These here are my go gloves, okay? Even in the fall, early spring, wintertime, these are my, I've always worn these. I love them. Um, you've seen probably 100 times of these, usually girls, not so much guys, but you know, hey, chooses their own. But as you can see, these are kind of worn out. That's why I put them out here, because they will wear out very quickly, especially if you're doing a lot of, you know, out working in the on the land, on the homestead. A lot of this stuff can be used for prepping. A lot of the stuff here that I bought was for prepping. It was for being prepared, because I know if the power goes out here in Ohio, and it's say it's December, January, February, March, it's going to be cold. Okay, it was cold yesterday. I mean, when that rain's hitting you, it's cold. So it's always good to be ready for a lot of the stuff was put in a tote. Now it's always out because I used a lot of it. You can pick these up really cheap. I already took these off because these will be my new ones for next winter. How this video got inspired was because I was doing laundry and washing all the winter gear that I have and making sure it was treated right and got it repelled. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk about stuff that I think is very important. About these are, I think, $2 tops. You can find them even 99¢, you know, gloves. So I already got ready for next year. These will go in my winter gear for next year. And you can wear these. The great thing about these is you can wear these even with these gloves. Because I had the right gloves the first time. See, they fit right on there because these gloves, these black ones, are snug to your hands. And I haven't broken these in yet, so it might be a little difficult. Let's see if it's a fail. Let's see if it's a fail. Nope. Now, even though these are insulated, I just double insulated these. Like I said, if my hands get too hot, I can always peel these off. If I need to really get something, like if I'm in the barn working with tools or whatever, since there's no heat out there, I got to have something to protect my hands from the coldness. And these will be very useful. And I usually go through, I think this pair here was actually a second pair. So I go through them pretty quickly because I wear these a lot. Let's see here. Since we're still on the winter gear, here's a great thing that I bought. And I bought these, I want to say eBay. I think I got these on eBay. Unless you can find them at a military surplus store. There's a reason why the military used these. These are really awesome. Again, just like the little ones, these have a liner inside. I'd wear these when it was really sub-zero outside. I can still take these gloves off and still have enough room to move my hands around. And these are wool. It's like wearing a big old wool sock on your hand. It's going to keep your hand nice and warm. And once you put these on, These have been again, I treated these with a water repellent. Um, and they go all the way up there. See how that nice, you put that inside your jacket. You can tighten them down. You've got a nice pair of leather hide on the bottom. So these are going to last a long time. I've used them with the gun, so they're you can use these for a lot of things. And maybe you don't want to wear something like that, that's fine. You know, like I said, you could get a pair of work gloves, you know, that are insulated. But again, you know, it's better if you're prepared, because if you don't have no heat in your house, or you have no way to heat your house, for those who are watching this and are not being prepared, and you live here in the northern states and you don't have no way to keep yourself warm, you could freeze to death in your house. Okay, people have done it. People have died because they didn't have the proper layers of clothing, and they froze to death in their house. All right, moving on to summer work gear. These are more of the summer gloves, fall time, maybe early spring. It just kind of depends on the weather outside. Nice impact. You know anything about these this company, Medex? Really great gloves. It's got the leather on the bottom. I love this one. These pair, because these have leather. The first pair that I bought did not have leather on them. These have the nice leather on them, and they so far are holding up pretty well. Since we're into the glove department, another thing to think about is fire safety, okay? I got this one years ago as a gift, and I thought it was a gag gift. I was like, really? You call me Of Mint? I mean, I kind of was like, really? Seriously? Okay, Of Mint. All right, cool. Man, do I love this glove. I love this glove. I actually have already purchased a new pair of gloves. Hopefully they're going to be as good as this. If you're putting in logs into the, now this is by Pit Mitt. I bought them, again, Walmart. This was a Walmart buy. This is for like the grills. You can find them in the grill department. Nice insulated fire gloves. They're going to protect your hands from fire, okay? So if you're putting logs into your fire place, your stove, or you're out in the homestead and you're putting wood on the fire, there you go. Get yourself a good protective fire gloves, okay? Outside I have a pair of, they're heavy duty, like work gloves. They're heat treated, so they are, it protects my hands against, you know, dealing with outside. These are more for inside. This one here I did use at the camper when we had a camper and lived in the camper for a while. I used the Of glove to put wood in. And then I picked this one up. I don't know when I picked this up. I bought this for the grill because sometimes, you know, you're cooking and stuff. All right, so I think that covers the gloves. Something else that I thought would just be a really quick mention. It's not technically apparel, but I thought it'd be something to talk about. This was an Amazon find. The reason I use Amazon for a lot of stuff is because I'm a reviewer. I like to review I like to review the review. Okay, I forget it. It's too early in the morning. But I like to read what people are saying about a product before I buy it. If the negativity on it is really low, then I'm not going to purchase it. I do my research on equipment, and one of the new things that came out on the market last, I don't know, maybe a year ago, is the headlight or headlamp that you can wave and it turns on. I would like to purchase that, but I still think that this one is the best that I've ever bought. It is rechargeable. It has a little port back here. You plug it in, just USB port. Fits nicely on a helmet. It has a swivel, so you can really, if I'm working down low here or I'm working on something here, I can put this right here. It swivels. Has different modes. There's a full mode. I can really work and do whatever I've got to do. It has a brighter focus. So And then it has a stress light, which I've never used. Hopefully never have to. So get yourself a nice headlamp, okay? And like I said, I'm going to probably, if I can find the link for this, I'm going to put this down there. It isn't really heavy. It's really light. Like I said, it's rechargeable. You can put this hook up to a solar panel if you're in doing prepping. So this is something I recommend getting. The only thing that I do like about the one you can wave, it does turn red. Where this one does not turn red. That's the only thing that I found negative about it. But I was thinking, when I was looking at that other headlamp, I could put a red, not permanently, but I could put a filter on this with like a red wrapping paper or something like that. You know, like a plastic red. I could find something to put on this to make this red if I needed to. Alright, so let's move over here to winter gear real quick. I bought this for the simple sole purpose of, again, prepping. I also bought it because it was cold in the apartment and I'd always have to take the dogs outside. So if I'm going to be outside, I want to be comfortable. So I bought this for 2 reasons, and that was prepping. Never dreamed that I'd have homestead, but man, these are a lifesaver. These are made by Dickies. They have a nice big pocket back here. You got a zip-in pocket back here. You got nice deep pockets here. You have a way to enter your your clothing if you need to. You can reach right in here and get whatever you got in your pockets. Got a nice little pocket here. Let's see. On this side, already got my winter. This is a knife that I just keep in this thing. Little tool thing you could hang your hammer on, which came in very handy when I was hanging up Christmas lights this year. So again, a lot of the stuff was bought for 2 reasons: prepping, and never dreamed I'd be using it for homesteading. But like I said, I bought this for prepping and for taking the dogs outside when I lived in the apartment because I was really getting cold, and especially watching for Paisley girl when she got home. So I'd have to go outside and sit in the wintertime. And so if I want to be outside, I want to be warm, you know. I don't want to be cold. Who likes to be cold? I think I bought these off Amazon. I could be wrong. Maybe these, I don't remember where I bought them at. I'll have to look. A good scarf like this is also handy. Majority of the time, you can wear this as a hat. I mean, you've probably seen these on the market. You probably may even have one. You can do a lot of things with this. First aid. They can be used for filtering water. It's very large. You could use it for a ground cloth in case you wanted to, you had a gun, or or you want to prepare your food or whatever. So it can be used for a lot of things. Majority of the time, though, I wear it simply for when I'm not wearing the full head. I can just wear this. I usually just take it around the back and I tie it. Not so fancy, just like that. Okay, and I can take it down and wear it just as a neck. There's a reason why scarves are made, people. It's to protect your neck from the coldness. Okay, I don't wear this in the summertime, but if I needed to, like I say, if I was, so the grid was down permanently, this would come in very handy, not only in the wintertime, but throughout the seasons. And I have several of these. I have several in our go bags, and so very, very useful tool for your toolbox. Next thing is jackets. Everyone has their own kind of winter jacket, okay? But let me tell you something. If you're working in the homestead, you're coming from, or you bought yourself a homestead, or you're getting into prepping, okay? Your little fancy jackets, the puffy jackets, poof jackets, whatever they call them. There's all kinds of cheap jacket or nice jackets out there. LL Bean makes these jackets. Them are not work coats. Okay, they're not the kind of coats that's going to be useful on a homestead. Okay, unless you're. I mean, maybe they can be. I guess. I personally don't see how they're not going to be tear resistant, heat resistant, when you're doing welding or anything like that. Like I said, Carhartt makes winter jackets, but to me, I used to have a Carhartt, but I always had to wear a hoodie with it. It was never really that warm. Years and years ago, I bought this. This was an I'll have to look, make sure I was correct about this one. But you can buy these. These are M65 jackets. Man, this thing is warm as all out to be. Um, it has a hood back here, not this one here. It has a little hood in here. It's too thin for me in the wintertime. I went on eBay and I did find this on eBay. This actually can go on this. It's a big winter hood. You might have seen me take pictures. You might have seen me in a picture with this. This bad boy will keep you nice and warm, and it will also protect you from the wind. Like I said, if you're out feeding the chickens, goats, whatever your animals are, or you're just simply working out there on the homestead, your new homestead, or you're prepping, okay, I would recommend an M65 jacket over a Carhartt. Okay, that's just my personal preference because I know this jacket in and out, and it's going to keep me warm. Now, with that being said, though, make this really totally a warm jacket. This is also water repellent. Of course, that gets treated every year in a treatment thing that I put on it. Is the liner. You have to buy these separate. Now, sometimes they might have a set. It just depends on what size you have. But make sure you get yourself this liner. Again, you can always take these liners out and just wear the thin coat. If that would be, that'd be the only coat. If this was my only go coat for a prepping situation, this would be the jacket to go for because I could wear this, anytime I want to because I can take the liner out, put it in the back pack, and move on with the rest of my day. Has nice straps here you can put your gloves in. It has nice deep pockets here. It keeps your gloves in here or whatever you want in here. And the cool factor is you get to put patches on your jacket. Or no, wait a minute. I take it back. These patches are the Velcro part. I had to sew these on and then put the flags. So these do not, these coats do not come with the patches. You have to sew on the separate little things there. Okay? But get yourself a nice jacket. Can't stress this jacket. This is your, work go jacket, okay? Carhartt, whatever you choose to use. Make sure you have yourself ready for any time of the year, okay? One of my main things that I wear a lot, especially the last couple of days, even though it's been a little chilly outside, is my hoodie. I have an old hoodie that I bought, and this was, I don't know when I bought this. This is like, I want to say about 8 years old. No tears in this. Here on the homestead, I've come across nails. This jacket might have got snagged, but not one tear resistant from that snag at all. I've done some welding in this. I can't stress you enough about how great the M65 jacket is. There's a reason why the military uses these. I talked to my son-in-law one time. I said, it was when our grandson was being born. We were down in Tennessee, and he was born in January. And it was cold outside, and here I had my jacket. And I said, I don't know how the military got rid of the M65 jackets. How do you guys keep warm in them thin? Because this jacket that he wears is really thin. And of course he talked about, like the thermal that they put on. Still, the Cold War days, that was the issue jacket right there. And then you had your regular fatigues. So I don't know how they do it. He said though, the guys who serve in like Alaska and stuff, they do get big parkas. But for the regular, I guess they just use the thin jackets and layered. Really? Get yourself a nice pair of muck boots. These are Amazon fine. I love these things. Keep my feet warm. As you can see, they're very dirty because it's been raining here. So I just took the dogs out, opened up the chicken coops, did the rabbits this morning, and so yeah, get yourself a pair of good muck boots. Make sure you do your homework on which boot you're getting, and make sure it's going to last you for some time. I've had them for 5 years. Yeah, they keep my feet nice and dry. With the winter rain gear on and that, I'm dry. I'm dry. I can go outside and work all day. All right, moving on. We'll cover these here real quick here in a minute. These are my winter boots. These are again, bought these at Walmart. I wanted a nice heavy duty work slash prepping slash winter boot. These are toasty, okay? Especially when you pair them with a pair of wool socks. That's the next thing. Make sure you have a good pair of thick socks for your work boots. You know, these little ankle socks that you might be wearing on before you bought your homestead. Time to invest in some nice pair of wool socks or some kind of heavy duty hiker type socks that wicks moisture away. You pair them with a nice pair of winter boots. Your feet are going to be toasty all day out in the cold. So these have been a lifesaver. I've already put these, I have these on my cart. I want to buy another pair. Just that way I have a backup pair. When these go, I can switch right over to the brand new pair, and I already know how they feel because I've used these. And I bought these 3 or 4 years ago. Love them. Very good traction on them. Yeah. Get yourself a good pair of nice work boots for the winter time. Something that's going to keep your feet warm. Because, like I said, you know, if you're cold, your work is you're going to show. Okay, because you're cold and you're thinking about being cold and man, I'm just going to go outside. I'm going to go outside and warm up. It's like, you know, I'm the type of person that will get up in the morning in the summertime because I know how high weather is, and mow. I start the mower up at 7 o'clock. That way I'm down by noon. Now there is days that I have to be out there all day in the heat. And so, you know, sometimes, you know, some people will say, well, you work until noon and then you go inside until it gets towards dark or getting towards, you know, the evening time. Here's the issue. Mosquitoes are very bad down here. Now, of course, we live by the river. We have an area that gets flooded a lot, so it has a way of harvesting the mosquito larvae. So that really doesn't work for me because by evening time, I'm ready to sit by the fire, spray me some off on me, and watch the river. I put in a full day's work here on the homestead. I'm ready to sit and relax. So these are my summer boots. Again, these were a prepping boot that I bought. I wanted something that I could really know that I'm not going to have to worry about. Again, these are a military spec boot. I bought these at the Surf Plus store, and they still have life in them. These were actually used when I bought them, but these have the vibrant sole on them, which is very thick. It's very well-made boot. I love these things. These are great for weed whacking in the summertime. If I'm going to go hiking and, you know, whatever purpose I'm going to use, these are my go boot. As you can see, they are a darker color than you normally see in the light tan. It's a little bit of dirt, but because I do repel, I spray on the 3M water repellent stuff on these. So it does darken the leather on these. The lower part of it. So great boot. Can't stress it enough to have a great pair of boots. So like here, I've got a pair of socks ready to go for whenever the weather dries up again. So that's it. I hope you find this video very interesting, and I hope you um, can take something away from this. And like I said, a lot of people, when I came to living here, I never thought about this kind of stuff. But I was already had all this stuff. Like I said, the only thing I bought was the winter work gloves this year. The rest of the stuff was all bought for different reasons. Like I bought this because we were going to go to the Columbus Zoo, and I wanted to stay warm. It had a black little band on it. I don't think the band's the band's not even on this anymore. That's why the Willie Nelson look on it. But a lot of this stuff was bought because I wanted something. This was bought for camping and fishing. Like I said, I wear this a lot of times. Even in the summertime, I can wear this. So a lot of this stuff was bought because for one reason was for prepping. So if you're getting new into where do I start as far as clothing goes, I hope this video will be something you can take away from. Do I want to wear a big M65 jacket with a big old furry hat on the front? No. Okay, well, that's your personal preference. For me, I know that jacket is going to keep my big old Papa Bear fur warm. I like to be warm. I don't want to be cold. I don't want to be thinking about the coldness, because once you're out there working, yeah, you build up heat, but at the same time, if I get too hot, I can layer down. There's many times here in Ohio, such as this past winter, I've learned I'll dress in the morning very warm. Before I know it, I'm taking off the overalls, I'm taking off the big jacket and putting on just a hoodie with my sweats, because that way I can layer down. Now, of course, I can come in the house and change. But why do that? I don't want to take time away from my work. If I'm into the process, I don't want to stop working. And that goes with the heat. In the morning, sometimes, I'll start off with a t-shirt or a tank top in the summertime. But once that humidity starts kicking in and we're starting to go, over the big old 12 and going into the afternoon, it's going to get hot, okay? So I want to make sure I have the spigot on so I can be out there doing a little dance, with the water, doing the bear dance, I'll just, sorry, I went just totally off the page. But, that's the idea here, is to think about your clothing, think about what you're going to be wearing on the homestead. Like I said, some people are comfortable working in 90 degrees with jeans on. I just never was that type of person. Of course, I worked in a field where, another thing I didn't talk about was pants for weed whacking or doing clearing land. Get yourself a good pair of cargo pants. My choice of pants is the military spec cargo pants. Why? Because I used to wear them as a paramedic all the time. They last forever. They have the pockets in there for you to put tools or nails or whatever you need to be putting in your pockets. That way you have a good pair of work pants. And I would recommend a military spec type cargo pants for your work pants for outside. All right, I think I covered everything. But yeah, you just think about what you're going to be wearing, or think about, if you're looking at this video from the aspect of prepping. Think about where you live. Think about what your seasons look like. Think about what you need to be putting in your go home bag or your bug out bag. A lot of people want to bug out. I personally would bug in because maybe you're made to go out hunting and you've been out hunting and you could stay out in the woods forever, but is your wife going to be ready for that? Is your little kids going to be ready for that kind of lifestyle when they're been living in a house? The chances is no, they're not going to be too happy with you. So bugging in is probably the best way to do it, but even with bugging in, you might have to go out to do the hunting. You might have to go out to scavenge for food. Whatever the case is, you need to make sure you have the proper clothing from the aspect of prepping. As far as homesteading goes, you can wear whatever you want. I just thought it'd just be an interesting video for those who have never thought about that. Oh, about the 5 acres of land and it's got a house on it. Now what do I do? Well, I gotta go work. You gotta mow that 5 acres. Maybe you gotta clear some woods, or maybe you gotta take down some trees. Whatever the case is, might be. You need to think about what you're going to be using as for your hands. Protection. Let me tell you something, friends. I was this past two. Let's see, not this week. The week or 2 weeks ago. Whenever I did the back property, I ran into a couple copperheads. Okay, we have the copperheads is the big one here in Ohio. Poison snakes. Your hand, you reach down and say in the woods, or you reach down on the ground to pick up a log, and that snake gets your skin. Okay, it's going to go right to your skin. Contact, boom, poison right to you. If you had a pair of work gloves like these on, snake, yes, will probably bite down. But look what he's biting down on. Because think about it, when you're reaching down, you might get this side. But there is protection between you and your hand. Okay? So there's a good chance that whatever he just bit is a pair of gloves. And if you didn't have gloves on, he just bit you. So there's reasons why you wear work gloves, okay? Even in the hot summertime, I wear gloves. Because I don't want to get bit by a snake, okay? I don't want to get bit by a poisonous spider, okay? I don't want to get poison ivy, poison oak. Again, these were bought, my first pair that I bought was for prepping. You might have to break some glass. You never know when you might need a pair of good work gloves. Winter, spring, and summer. Think about your seasons again. So, all right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, today is May 4th. Just think about, the things that's going on in our country now about freedom of speech and how things have changed. Back in the 1970, it was a very different time. It was a very troubling time. There was by the 1970s, the Vietnam vets who had already came home was protesting against the war to bring home their brothers from the harm's way and their sisters. So it was a very trying time, and so today is a very time that I stop and think of them poor students who were massacred, shot down for the freedom of speech. They were carrying books. They weren't carrying guns, man. All right, I won't get too emotional about this, but anyways, we thank you from the bottom of our heart, and make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell, and as we say around the homestead, peace, love, and happiness goes out to you. God bless each one of you. I hope you have a very blessed weekend. Today is, well, by the time you watch this will be probably Friday. Today I got to do some, I got to clean some fans and get ready for tomorrow. I'm going to clean the house tomorrow because the dogs are dragged in the mud. But that's the way it is here at the homestead. But anyways, we love y'all. We'll talk to you very soon. And again, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you on the next video.